And at this time, I invite Mr. Gregory Peterson from the Justice Jackson Center to come forward and to address us.
Greetings. My name is Greg Peterson. I am the co-founder of the Robert H. Jackson Center, and I'm here on behalf of the Robert H. Jackson Center and all of its members to extend the condolences to Joe and the family from them. As it's been the mission of the Robert H. Jackson Center to advance the legacy of Justice Robert H. Jackson, his lifetimes and career. And nobody embodied that more than Father Moritz Fuchs. And I'm here to celebrate and to perhaps advise you of a part of his career which you may not know a lot about, because we're saying goodbye to a real giant in so many ways. A little bit about my relationship with Father Moritz Fuchs. The Robert Jackson Center was formed in 2001, and in 2002 I had read a book called Nuremberg, Infamy on Trial by Joseph Persico. And it dealt with the Nuremberg trial, which for those that may not have a recollection, was right after the war, 1945, 1946. Justice Robert Jackson was the chief American prosecutor trying the top 21 Nazis, which were included Goering, Hess, Ribbentrop, Keitel, and so on. And in 1945, the war had ended, and Moritz Fuchs, Private Moritz Fuchs, Big Red 1 Army unit, after having been shot in the Hurtgen Forest, been sent to a hospital, returned to his unit, ended up at Nuremberg, and then he got the assignment of his life. He was assigned to be the bodyguard for Chief Justice Robert H. Jackson, who had been appointed by Harry Truman to be the chief American prosecutor at the Nuremberg trial. And he was one of one. Think of details today, but Father Moritz Fuchs was one of one. And Jackson, being told there was a bodyguard, and this is in the book, and a bodyguard, he says, Jackson protested. He had no desire to have some plug ugly following him day and night. Still, the clean-cut young sergeant assigned to protect him, Moritz Fuchs, hardly seemed cast to type. How much did his protector weigh? Jackson asked. Moritz Fuchs responded, 155 pounds. I'm 5'9". Jackson said it didn't seem like much protection to him, but he said, carry on. And carry on he did. He stayed with Justice Jackson 24/7. He lived with him. And he attended all the court proceedings. So if Jackson's in the courtroom, Moritz Fuchs is in the courtroom. In fact, Moritz Fuchs is the only guy who actually is in the courtroom with all of the participants with a sidearm. He's authorized to carry that to protect Robert Jackson. So he was there throughout the trial. They established not only this protector-protectee relationship, but a friendship which led to the fact that even Jackson, when he left the trial, flew him home. And as a result of that, attending the trial, it was Moritz Fuchs watching day to day from his seat that really caused him to have an epiphany which ultimately led to him deciding to go into the chaplaincy and to become a Catholic priest. More on that by another time, perhaps. But I want to tell you a little bit about his character and about my initial meeting with him. I read the book, and in the acknowledgments it said Moritz Fuchs. They had been interviewed by Joe Persico, which told me, at least at the time of this book in 1996, he was alive. Was he still alive? Because we at the Jackson Center wanted to talk to anybody who had contact with him, and this guy had 24/7 contact. So I did what everybody did. I got on the internet, and there I found Moritz Fuchs. And I called. And he said, I said, "This is Greg Peterson." "Yes, this is Father Fuchs." "God bless you." I said, "Well, I'm from Jamestown, New York." "Okay. I am wondering if you have 5 minutes." And he said, "Well, I've got to have a church meeting in 5 minutes, so I don't have much time, but go ahead." I said, "Well, I'm from the Robert H. Jackson Center. We just started it and wondered if you're the same Moritz Fuchs that was the bodyguard there." He goes, "Yes!" I said, "Just one quick question, because I know you have to go to this church meeting in 5 minutes because you've got to run. So just curious, how did this all happen?" And then for the next 25 uninterrupted minutes, he talked about Robert Jackson. And I said, "Oh, Father Fuchs," I interrupted him finally after 25 minutes. I said, "I know you're late, and I apologize for it's my fault for your not being able to make on a timely basis this meeting with your church families." "Ah, they can wait." So hence began a relationship with Father Moritz Fuchs. I came out the next week to interview him. I then thereafter had an opportunity for him to come and perhaps give for the very first time a discussion on his experiences at Nuremberg. He'd never given a homily, he said. And so thereafter, he became our chaplain at the Jackson Center, presiding over meetings with Chief Justice Rehnquist, Chief Justice Roberts, Chief Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, statues, federal courthouses. There was always Father Moritz Fuchs there. Our family became his, and vice versa. So I wanted to share with you that brief interlude, and there was so much more, and I'm privileged and honored. Thank you, Father, for inviting me to spend a few minutes and giving a little bit of an insight into the Nuremberg life of Father Moritz Fuchs, because it was significant. It was significant. We are here to say goodbye to a man of great character, great honor, and I'm just thrilled to have in my memory bank this great, big, broad smile that I'm sure he imparted to everybody else. Thank you for permitting it.